Hello there, this is DBT and this is Art of Rooms. And alright, let's continue talking about Asphalt 9 because today we'll be having a look at both the car hunts that are happening on the game right now, and oh boy, it is a bit of a tough decision which one you should be focusing on, and you have to choose because you will not have time to do both of them. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the first one, which is the one for the Aston Martin Victor. Now, this is a regular car hunt. In fact, this car hunt has repeated a bunch of times already. I think like at least 2, maybe 3 times that this car hunt has happened. Now, this is actually one of the better cars that you can get through regular car hunts, seeing that it's a Class A car, 6 stars, which obviously means only 3 fuel if you don't own the Legend Pass, but still, it's a very strong car. In fact, let me show you the stats at gold. And shout out to Asphalt Racer, link to his channel is in the description. This is where I got this screenshot from with the gold stats of the car. Top speed of 371.4, acceleration of, well, top speed is fast-ish, nothing amazing, but it's definitely fast-ish in Class A. Acceleration of 78 is nothing to write home about. The handling, however, at 76, almost 77, it's pretty good. And the nitro at almost 70, it's also pretty good. Again, nothing comparable to something like the Huayra BC, but overall, this is a different car. It's a different situation. So, strong car, for sure. But being more realistic, here's the stats of the car at max stars without epics, because that's how I actually have the car. If we have a look, I got 0 epics applied, so yes. These are the stats that you're going to be able to get the car after the car hunt. I mean, if you get epics through the Riot, that's great. But at the very least, this is what you should be able to get if you manage to 6-star this car. Now, one thing to consider is that this is not a key car, so whatever progress you make on the car hunt, you will be able to get the car at the star count that you kept it. Let's say that you don't have the car at all, and you, through the car hunt, manage to get it to 3 stars, you keep it at 3 stars, and maybe in a year from now, once this hunt repeats again, you'll be able to continue working on it. So that is a good thing about this type of hunts, that you definitely have the opportunity to continue working on it. Even if it feels like you may be wasting your time doing a car hunt for a car that you won't be able to max out, it's still worth doing. So this is one of the cars that you can get through a car hunt, but there's another one. And this one is a special hunt, different type of hunt. And that is of course the Glickenhaus 007S. Now, I already have a bunch of progress on this, I'll explain why in a second. But I will show you the car as I have it right now. In fact, I already did a How Far Can It Take Me episode on this car. Link should be appearing in the top right about now. And I only have it at 5 stars. Actually, when I started this one, I had it at 22 blueprint. But here are the stats. However, once again, I think it's better to show it to you at gold. And this does matter to show it at gold, because in order for you to actually unlock this car in this hunt, you need to have it at gold. These are the stats at gold. We have the top speed of 358. It's on the average side of Class S. In fact, for being a gold card with this speed, it does feel like it's a bit on the slow side, but nothing extremely slow. Acceleration, however, is where this thing is absolutely bonkers. I'm willing to say that this is probably the best acceleration in all of Class A. I could be wrong, maybe something like the Fordzilla has it too. But still, and by the way, again, shout out to Asphalt Racer, where I also got this screenshot from. The link to his videos where I got the screenshots is in the description. But yeah, so acceleration is absolutely bonkers. Handling is really, really good. And where it suffers, it's on the nitro, where it's very much average, if not slightly on the bad side. So to a certain extent, you can think of the Vanda in terms of being a very, very agile car with really good acceleration, though this is faster, worse, slightly worse acceleration. Well, I mean, in numbers, it's much worse, but in practice, well, you know. And the nitro is where it suffers. So to a certain extent, this is like another version of the Vanda. And I know they're different cars and they do have different, they excel at different things, but they're to a certain extent, they're similar cars. So over here, like I said, I have the car at 5 stars, but the problem with this car hunt, unlike the one for the Victor, is that you are not able to unlock this car unless you have the car at gold. If you're not familiar with the special hunts, I'm gonna give you just a very quick, brief idea. You just have a free try to the car with which you're gonna be doing the races. You can get some packs to hopefully get blueprints for the car. Once you manage to get the car to the 2nd star by getting enough blueprints through this, you unlock the next stage in which you can get more packs and whatnot. Now, here the situation is that in theory, each one of the stages that you get at, once you get the car at 2 stars, you are able to do this, at 3 stars, you're able to get here. Each one of these stages, in theory, should have better drops than the previous one, and at least in previous special hunts, it has been that way. To the point that when you're in stage 5, when you have the car at 5 stars, the drop should be actually pretty good. Now, are they that good? I really don't know. The one thing to notice is that they actually changed the amount of packs that you can get. In previous special hunts, like the one for the Zonda R, I made a video on that, link is appearing in the top right about now. Over there you would get 2 packs and another 2 packs, so it would be 4 packs in total per race. Over here, they nerfed it and now it's 3 packs. How are the drop rates over here? Well, let's find out while we do a couple of races and keep talking about this car. But like I was saying, the problem with this car hunt is the fact that in order for you to acquire the key for this car, you need to have the car at gold. Now that sounds impossible, except that it's doable through the car hunt itself, because in the very last stage of the hunt, you're also able to get epic import parts instead of blueprints. So that is a good thing, right? You're able to gold the car now. Once again, and this is something that has been known for this type of hunts, you need to upgrade the car as you are going to unlock it. So for that, you're gonna need something like 32, I believe, 32 million credits in order to gold the car. So that's a lot of credits, and if you don't have them, doesn't matter that you get all of the blueprints, doesn't matter that you get all of the epic import parts. If you don't have the credits to upgrade it, you're not gonna be able to get the car. And that's why a lot of people, me included, were saying like, save your credits, people, because when this hunt happens, and it was announced that this hunt was gonna happen, you are going to need to have 32 million in order to upgrade the car and thus unlock it if you're able to get all of the parts and all of the epics. Well, all of the blueprints and all of the epics. So that was just one single race. Do I get any blueprints from that? Yeah. And at the stage where I am, I actually get 2 blueprints at once. And if I get more drops, well, then that's even more blueprints. Let's do another race while we continue talking about this car. So it is a more difficult hunt, also because this hunt is actually shorter than even that of the Aston Martin Victor. The Aston Martin Victor, it's the usual for hunts, which is 8 days. This hunt, however, it's 6 days, which is also kind of annoying because the last special hunt that we had was 10 days. And that was definitely a bunch of time to build your credits and all of that stuff. Over here with only 6 days, honestly, I don't know why they had to do it this way. I don't know if it's because they wanted to fit it exclusively in this season and for it to end once the new season begins. I don't know what is the deal with this. Probably. Who knows? Or simply they just wanted to make this hunt less giving than previous one. Like I mentioned, the last special hunt that we had was for the Pagani Zonda R. Yes. A car that was controversial because a lot of people say that it sucks. I think it's not a great car, but it's not as bad as people made it out to be. But still, it's not an amazing car, and comparatively speaking, I would say this is a much more useful car, the SEG, than the Zonda. So maybe because of that, Gameloft was like, you know what? Let's make this harder for people to do. Meaning they're gonna have to grind harder, they're gonna probably have to spend tokens on refills and whatnot. Again, I'm doing this race just to show you the possibility of the drop rates. As you can see in the previous race, I got 2 blueprints through 1 drop. In the next one, I got none, so let's do 1 more. So yeah, overall, honestly, this hunt in particular, if you don't have the car, like you never had this car, you never participated in the Grand Prix, you never got any blueprints for it, this hunt is going to be very difficult for you. And that's not to say that it's going to be impossible, but definitely is one where you're going to have to be grinding constantly. Now, this has a benefit, unlike regular hunts, if you don't own the pass, what is it called, the event pass. This hunt only costs 1 ticket per race, unlike a regular hunt that would cost you 2 tickets. So this means that you can do twice as many races in a row. So to a certain extent, that kind of levels out the fact that in this one you need to max out the car. So while you need only 1 ticket for it, 1 race over here in the Victor, oh, what happened was my screen. In the Victor, you're gonna need 2 tickets per race, so that definitely slows down the progress. So that is why I said that this is definitely a strange situation, a tough decision to make. Personally, if you're going to take any type of advice from DBT, go for whichever you have the most progress on. If you have the Glickenhaus at a couple of stars, even without the key, if you have it at a couple of stars because you participated in the Grand Prix and you got blueprints, and there's been like 2 reruns of the Grand Prix for this car anyway. If you have some progress on this car, go for this car. If you have instead some progress on the Victor, go for the Victor. Honestly, I think both of these cars are equally as useful, though in different ways, but they're about as useful, equally as useful in multiplayer. I'm gonna do a couple of races with the Victor. Someone suggested me to do a how far can it take me episode on this car, and I will, I promise. In the upcoming days, I will do a video on this car alone, testing it in multiplayer. But over here, we're just gonna do some random races while we continue talking about this. But if you already have some progress on the Victor, because again, in previous hunts, you have gotten it to 1, 2 stars or whatever, then focus on that one. I just think that in general, these hunts are very difficult, simply because they're 6-star cars, and they require a tremendous amount of blueprints in order to get it to where they would be the most competitive for the case of the Victor, or simply to unlock it for the case of the SCG. So yeah, I think that is where I would say go for whichever you have the most progress on. Now, obviously, if you have one of the cars already at maximum start, then obviously focus on the other ones, which is what I'm doing. The Victor, I already had at 6 stars since whenever. And for the SCG, I had it at 5 stars, so now I'm just focusing on doing the 6-star, and I don't need as many credits and whatnot, but still it's gonna be an expensive endeavor. Now, another thing that is worth mentioning is that when it comes to the credits, the SCG hunt has definitely the means to give you a bunch of credits. I didn't talk about this, but in each one of these stages of the hunt, you know that in any car hunt, you can get either import parts or blueprints or credits in the packs for the car hunts, right? Well, the thing about the hunt for the Glickenhaus is that it has a higher payout for credits per pack. Now, in the first couple of stages, it's not going to be super noticeable, but in later stages of the hunt, you get more credits. Well, normally you would get 2,000 and 4,000 credits per pack in a regular hunt. For example, here on the Victor, that's the amount of credits that you can get per pack. Over there in the Glickenhaus, you can get up to like 7,000 per pack. Now, that still doesn't sound like a lot, but in doing the race a ton of times, obviously, you're going to be acquiring a lot of credits in that way. I got defeated by an Onyx, but I did beat Onyx, Fire, Aventador, Genti, La Perla, and Porsche 918 Spider. Let me do another race, again, just to show you this car and its effectiveness. And I'm driving this car right now in Ghost Slipstream, where it can do alright. Though honestly, in Ghost Slipstream, I think like the Onyx has the advantage over this car simply because it has better acceleration. And this car has decent, the Victor has decent nitro, but that doesn't matter as much over here. However, the Victor in Ghost can do amazing. And even in Classic, it can do really well simply because of how well it drifts. But yeah, so the situation with the credits is that in that car hunt of the Glickenhaus, you can get definitely a bunch of credits from the packs alone, but also because you get to do twice as many runs in that hunt as compared to the Victor's hunt. You also have a lot of races in which at the end you can get credit multiplier, and that can be anything from for sakes, man. That could be obviously something really basic. Okay, you know what? This race is gonna go terrible. All right, you're gonna witness a weird moment. The moment when DBT actually quits a race. This isn't a rage quit. Yeah, it kinda is. So just to be really clear what I was talking about, what I was saying, you can get blueprint, you can get parts, or you can get credits, either 2,000 or 4,000, and this is just how it is in this type of hunt. But if we have a look at the special hunt, and for example, in the very first stage, you're not gonna notice really that much of a difference, because if we look at the packs that you can get over here, you can get 2,000 or 4,000, so there's no difference there. But if we have a look at even stage 2, once you already managed to get the car to 2 stars, this is gonna start giving more credits. You get 5,000 and 3,000, that is definitely an increment. And it goes increasing like that more and more and more, to the point that when you're in the last stage, the amount of credits that you can get from this per pack can be 7,500 or 15,000. That's a lot of credits, obviously. And again, because this hunt costs 1 ticket per race, you can do 10 races, you can get a lot of packs, and you can do a bunch of add multipliers to get even more credits. In fact, when I started this hunt, I had like 15 million. So in the process of doing a bunch of runs over here, I managed to get a bunch of credits through, again, the multipliers and simply these packs. Now, this is another thing to maybe consider, because over here you can see that I have 15 tickets. That is because currently I have the event pass, which means that I get more tickets, and in regular hunts like the one for the Victor, I actually get to make progress a lot faster, because instead of getting 1 pack over here, I get 2 packs. So in total, instead of getting 3 packs per run, I get 6 packs per run. So if you have the event pass, then that's definitely benefiting the Aston Martin Victor hunt. But that is not at all the case with the other hunt. the special hunt don't get affected like this, so you don't get twice as many packs by owning this. So to a certain extent, that also determines which one you should go for. If you don't have the event pass, this is going to be a very grindy hunt, because it's going to take a long time. You're going to be able to do 5 races per ticket refill. And yeah, it's gonna take a while, because that's gonna be a lot of refills, whether it's by time or by tokens. Whilst the one on the Glickenhaus, like I said, owning the pass doesn't give me additional packs. So, and still, this is gonna cost me 1 ticket per race. And again, remember, this is whether you own the pass or not. This is always gonna be 1 ticket. So the choice is in your hand. Which car should you go for? Like I said, I think it really just depends on which car you have some progress on and how much time can you dedicate to the hunt in order to do a ton of runs. And once again, this car requires you to have a ton of credits, 32 million, grind it till you get all of the stars and all of the epic import parts. You have to gold the car, and only then you can participate over here and get the key guaranteed. So that is a lot of commitment to a certain extent. Even though, if you think about it, it's more grindy to do the one of the Victor, that is less of a commitment, because if you only manage to get the car to 3 stars, you own the car at 3 stars. You don't have to max it out before you get the key. So at least you get to have the car like that, and like I said, maybe do this once this car hunt repeats. And we know that these regular hunts repeat. The one on the Glickenhaus, the one for the Zonda R, the one for the Ultima, those special hunts that we have gotten, they haven't repeated just yet, so it's unknown if they will repeat at some point or not. So I hope this helps you a little bit to think which one should you go for. Like I said, it's a hard choice, whichever way you look at it. You have very limited time to go for it. The other one you have more time, but it's more grind. It's really, both of them are difficult. So I don't know. My suggestion, like I said earlier, just go for the one that you already have progress on, commit hard to it, and forget about the other hunt, because you will not have time to do both. But that's all for this video. If you like my content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support me directly, why don't you check the memberships? But that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.